Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today.
In a world where dreams meet reality, there exists a place where your business can flourish. That place is Shopify. Imagine having the power to craft your online store with tools that make it as easy as a gentle breeze. Whether you're an artisan of handmade wonders, a creator of digital treasures, or a curator of the latest trends, Shopify stands by your side. With its customizable templates, seamless integrations, and support that's always there, your dream store is just a heartbeat away. Join millions of visionaries around the globe and let Shopify guide you on your journey. Visit roguemedianetwork.com/Shopify. That's roguemedianetwork.com/SHOPIFY. And embark on your free trial. Shopify, where your commerce dreams come to life. This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
I am Rachel Ruth Tate, and this is Text Astrology. Hey folks tuning in from Texas and outside our great state. This is Rachel Ruth speaking, your very own Central Texas astrologer, coming to you from the Rogue Media Network studios right here in downtown Waco. I can also be your personal astrologer. Head to www.textastrology.com to book a 60-minute natal chart reading with me and use code I love you for a special discount. I'd love to work with all of you, and work is appropriate considering today's episode has us engaging a full moon in the hardworking sign of Capricorn, the 10th sign in the zodiac ruled by Saturn and represented by the mountain goat. This full moon occurs at 11 degrees of Capricorn, our cardinal earth sign of construction, tradition, and authority. Capricorn is also the place of the moon's own debility or difficulty. So, to give context, there are two signs that the moon truly experiences issues within. The first is Scorpio, because fixed water truly feels so deep it hurts. And the second is Capricorn, because feelings are often beyond reason, and there isn't a linear path from emotional point A to emotional point B most of the time. Healing isn't a step-by-step process whose function you can execute. No. The nature of the lunar cycle is internal, emotional, physical, and spiritual. The lunar cycle, all lunar cycles, speak to our continual restoration and embodied rebirth. Capricorn would rather just build beyond and perform through whatever. Because the moon in Capricorn is incredibly performance-oriented. Not like Leo performing on stage. I just mean performance as in getting it done. Deeply, deeply tied to performance. The moon here speaks to and cares about social success and achievement. Like think of merit or attainment as self-care or personal satisfaction for the moon in Capricorn. And because of this onus, natal moon in Capricorn individuals may have a hard time accepting things they cannot change or do, and they likely struggle with the weight of their individual expectations of themselves or the expectations put upon them by parents, society, or authority. A moon in Cap may experience their internal world as burdensome, honestly, and they might be long-suffering vis-a-vis emotional expression or the lack thereof. It just doesn't compute. They'd rather complete a task or observe their progress. Repression is real for the moon in Capricorn, much like in the immortal words of Summer on Rick and Morty. May my chores complete me as I complete them. Accomplishing things, even small but material things, is a form of self-soothing for the moon here in Capricorn. And thus, an inactive or socially struggling moon in Cap is really struggling. So whatever you're self-loathing about not doing or procrastinating on or avoiding entirely, this full moon on the day of and for the 2 weeks after, face it head on for best results. Trust. It may not feel great. Likely it's going to feel a bit hard because a lot of the moon in Capricorn is about moving through and beyond hard feelings. But as I overheard on the astrology report with my homie Cam White about this specific moon, if you're trying to figure out whether or not to take the easy or hard path, consider that if the easy path were worth taking, you absolutely would have already done that by now. Choose integrity, choose purpose. Capricorn likes that. So I know you want to know, how is this particular full moon in its hard spot in Capricorn shaping up for us, other than the moon's sort of tense condition in an uncomfortable sign? Well, let's check out the condition of the full moon in Capricorn's ruler, Saturn. So Saturn is now in Jupiter's mutable water sign of Pisces, at 7 degrees of Pisces to be exact. That makes the ruler of this moon, the moon in Capricorn, Saturn, sextile or easily united to the full moon over at 11 degrees of Capricorn. This angle is unambiguously supportive, as it always would be when and if a full moon's ruler could see the moon and from a soft and opportune sextile 60 degrees sweet spot. This auspicious angle between Saturn in emotional Pisces and the moon in gritty Capricorn is an emotional opportunity. Make no mistake. Saturn is about the long-standing challenges we've experienced, about the restrictions placed on us by society or authority or circumstance, about the crosses we have borne historically, and the parts of life in which we've had to do a lot of, well, work. And in Capricorn, Saturn is about construction, containment, attainment, longevity. The moon is going to be concerned with all of that, and yet flavored by emotional Pisces. Pisces is about deep truth, divinity, compassion, unity of experience, internal expansion. When we give the full moon in Capricorn this flavor and access to this perspective, we get the fusion of the two, or the marrying. That looks like a big chance to enact long-lasting change and resolve past dramas and traumas. This looks a lot like, well, growing up, no matter what age you are, maturing with respect to your past and your past versions of you. All things Saturn get better with age, remember. Also with Saturn, trust this isn't going to be easy, but be sure that what we accomplish during this lunar cycle is worth it and will align us with our own collective and individual potential. With this full moon's further interpretation, we must also consider the closest aspect that any planet or planets are making to the full moon in Capricorn. With this moon, it's a close call. Jupiter is making the closest aspect by a close shave, trining the moon at 11 degrees Capricorn from Jupiter's spot at 9 degrees Taurus. A trine is a positive 120-degree relational flow between bodies, making this another traditionally auspicious or positive angle, like the sextile from Saturn. But auspicious and positive isn't necessarily easy. But abundant Jupiter, from its place at equally abundant fixed Earth Taurus, is here to literally help and provide. Translation of all of that. No matter how hard it gets over the next 2 weeks, trust you will have what you need. Jupiter in Taurus is in the mix to underscore that growth is good. It's also here to talk and emphasize sustainability. Start as you mean to continue. With the full moon being in Capricorn, we are all exploring the places that we're experiencing some form of burnout. Jupiter in Taurus will slow us down and soften us up and create the right stable circumstance in which to work it out. Taurus knows that not all gravity is bad. It holds us to the face of the earth. Jupiter here in Taurus says life is kind. Take the good with the bad and keep it simple in an increasingly complicated world. It will all work out. It always has worked out. Like gravity and the lunar cycle, we can always rely on some natural constants to come back to center. Mercury, the mind, the speech, is also making a very close aspect to this Saturnine moon, opposing it from Mercury's place at 14 degrees of Cancer, fresh off of its own reset in the heart of the sun at 11 degrees Cancer, so still conjunct, but now combust. And that means it might be hard to see the more emotional forest through the trees here. You're going to be attached to and caring about and for and invested in a lot. But sometimes that's healing, right? And trust, Jupiter and Saturn are making a sextile and a trine to this Mercury in Cancer respectively. Again, it will all work out, they both say supportively. Mercury in Cancer does stress and can become distressed, especially when combust and thus confused. But don't worry. Mercury in Cancer is an expert at worrying, but don't. That's part of the lesson of Saturn in Pisces and the moon in Capricorn, because worry itself isn't at all constructive. And so with that admonition, I will endeavor to use that very Capricornian grit and dogged determination to inform our horoscopes for this full moon. I request that rising signs be used for these horoscopes as the ascendant speaks to the arising of your literal self, but your sun or moon sign works all right as well. Now the full moon in Capricorn for all 12 signs. Aries, I perform with ease. Taurus, I believe fervently. Gemini, I have integrity in investment. Cancer, I truly put my whole self into partnerships. Leo, I do the work I care about. Virgo, as I love it, I attend to it. Libra, home is my most important location. Scorpio, my words are my truth and my power. Sagittarius, I am capable of holding it all. Capricorn, I am allowed to reinvent myself. Aquarius, I am resilient inside. Pisces, I trust the collective to hold me in my community. Let those horoscopes begin to cement things inside the mind while we take a short break for a word from our sponsors.
Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today.
And here we are building up to, like Capricorn does, our top 3 transits or planetary movements to follow over the next 2 weeks. Number 1, Mars enters Virgo on Monday, July 10th at 6:34 a.m. Central Standard Time, where it will remain for a month and a half until it changes signs again on August 27th. Yes, okay, now we are talking. Mars in Virgo is more of a listener, but let me just say this is the highest quality Mars we have had in almost a solid year. No kidding. Mars was in Aries last June and July, and this is the best Mars since then. Mars being, of course, the way we act, move, and do, our individual active principles. Basically, Mars left Aries in early July of 2022, and since then it has been in Taurus, which is slow going. Taurus is the sign of Mars's detriment, so And then it went into Gemini for a gigantic retrograde in August of 2022, and it didn't leave Gemini until March of 2023, which was irritating and annoying and stalled all of our generative projects. And then Mars went into Cancer, which is its sign of fall or major issue. We were all emotional and sad and fraught and distressed and lashing out. And then it went into Leo, in which it is totally neutral, essentially, with no power or difficulty. And now, we have Mars entering Virgo, where it enjoys triplicity rulership over Earth signs and thus some serious brain power. We can get stuff done again, y'all. For real, though. Mars in Virgo is here to tidy up the Marshall mess, whereas Mars in Leo was there for Mars in Leo to do whatever it wanted, whatever you wanted, basically. And Mars in Virgo has no such luxury, as it has a service orientation and administrative bent. Mars' 6 weeks in Virgo is an excellent opportunity to do some back-to-school shopping, house cleaning, scheduling, planning, or just tick off general chores from the list, especially ones that require accuracy and patience. Mars in Virgo is the sort that loves the ASMR of watching people do methodical work for long periods of time. And beyond watching, Mars in Virgo is at home in the midst of organizing, arranging, or otherwise assembling. So break out your puzzles and closet organizers. This is the time to enjoy the process of decluttering and reordering. Virgo has a handle on everything in the pantry and makes sure the stock is safe and accounted for. That said, if there has been any major stress in life, Mars in Virgo may also add to it with internal anxiety. Virgo, the sixth sign in the zodiac, ruled by Mercury and symbolized by the Virgin. Virgo rules the digestive system, and it must be noted that the largest number of neurons outside the brain is in the gut. And there is a huge link between the gut and the brain. The vagus nerve. Hello. Hence, why Mercury is naturally the ruler of Virgo. So if you're feeling discomfort in the gut, which is totally possible with Martial Mars being potentially irritating, it may just get to your mind. When the mind is racing, often the stomach is in knots too. And when the stomach is queasy, the mind is uneasy as well, right? If you were to fold the chakra system in half over the heart chakra, which you can, since the heart is the middle of the 7 chakras, the second, the sacral space, the belly, and the fifth, the third eye, the forehead between brows, those two align because they're two halves of a whole. While Mars is in Virgo, plan to be on your shit, making the necessary tweaks and adjustments to optimize your schedule, and also have a plan for when the anxiety or stress hits, as it will. Maybe there is some go-to breath work that calms you. Box breath is great. Look it up. Even the military uses it. Maybe essential oils. Aromatherapy is also real. Oils on the skin break the blood-brain barrier within less than a minute. And a crystal, maybe even crystal healing. Virgo is an earth sign, remember. So maybe a palm stone or stress stone that you can use to center. Crystals are solids that maintain a much more constant vibrational frequency than us, a frequency that we can tune into and use to maintain balance. Above all, while this transit is in effect, make sure you are intentional and mindful about your health. Much of our immune system is also in our gut, and it is imperative that we nourish and detoxify the internal organs in order to maintain overall optimal health. With Mars in Virgo, we have the ability to provide excellent self and community care. And we also have the tendency to be hypercritical of ourselves and our efforts while we do. Just remember, better is your next best. Second transit. Mercury enters Leo on Monday, July 10th at 11:09 p.m. Central Standard Time, where it remains for just over 2 weeks until changing signs on July 28th. Hi. Hello. Hey, baby. Love you, darling. It's been so long, sweet friend. You look fabulous, radiant. That outfit is sensational. Your whole vibe is just beyond. Love this for you. Yes. You get the idea? Mercury in Leo is all about the compliments, the seeing and being seen, the individual expression. Mercury in Leo, it has little inherent power, but it won't tell you that. No. Mercury, the mind, expression, and exchange we do, will be confident and shining in Leo, the fifth sign of the zodiac ruled by the sun, at least as far as Mercury is concerned. It loves attention here and will acquire it at most means necessary, depending on the solar nature of the native influenced by it. Now, Venus will be co-present with Mercury in Leo the whole time. Yay. Leo rules the heart, and then the sun will enter Leo for the last week of Mercury's transit. So mark out 7/21 to 7/28 as days to live your best life, as days to glow in the sun, be loud and proud, and generally have a grand old time reveling in being you. Mercury in Leo can indeed be selfish and self-interested, but that doesn't have to be a bad thing. Do the self-help course. Take the vacation. Make that profile online. Take those photos or update your headshots. Announce your events. Post those photos. Be proud of yourself and your people. The weather is right for it. Love on yourself and others. But also watch for bragging on to become just bragging. Watch for pride to become pomposity. Remember that humility with confidence is even sexier than confidence alone. Arrogance isn't a good look, and Mercury in Leo can sometimes be blissfully unaware of crossing that line. Enthusiasm in the wrong context can be anything but contagious, so simmer down when appropriate. Self-awareness, ironically, isn't a strong suit for Leo, even though self-focus comes so completely naturally. Luckily, we will have Mars in Virgo at the same time, so we can't completely go off the rails and forget the calendar. Things will still have to get done, and fixed fire Leo should bolster the timid among us with a healthy dose of self-belief and confidence as we do what we do. Mercury was previously in Cancer, where it is when I'm recording this, where the internal voice can take a pessimistic or negative or defensive tone. None of that for Mercury in Leo. We are all about making it happen, the glory of the moment, hope for the future, and the joy of the attention for the deed. Mercury in Leo is an appropriate forerunner to the shifting of the nodes, which, in my opinion, is the most major change happening within this particular Moon and Capricorn cycle. The North Node will enter Aries, which is the sign of the sun's exaltation, and we will be there for 18 months of self-actualization and choosing you, because third transit happens. The North Node enters Aries, as I mentioned, and the South Node then enters Libra on Monday, July 17th, the same day as the new moon in Cancer, at 11:17 a.m. Central Standard Time, just mere hours before the moon is totally new. But the nodal shift does happen before that moon, putting it right at the end of this full moon in Capricorn lunar cycle. So we're talking about it right now. The nodes will stay in these signs for the next year and a half, not entering new signs until January of 2025. So set up. Really, though, I do love this shift for us. And I love that the nodes shift from where they are in fixed earth Taurus, fixed water Scorpio, to a cardinal fire Aries, cardinal air Libra, between a cardinal earth lunation, the full moon in Capricorn, and a cardinal water lunation, the new moon in Cancer. It's kind of poetic, it's dynamic, and it speaks to the tension of change. With cardinal signs, it speaks to the kinetic nature of our initiation. It's like there's a turning of a key in a lock here almost. The lunar nodes are a lot to break down, and I have a few times on this podcast, but I'm going to do it real quick here again. The nodes are not real physical points. They are representations of where the moon's orbit and the sun's apparent path, right? We're orbiting around the sun, so it's apparent path cross, which is where eclipses happen. The moon's orbit is tilted naturally 11 degrees, and our Earth is tilted and it wobbles, so axial tilt plus a slanted lunar orbit equals incomplete alignment of bodies required for eclipses, or every single full and new moon would be an eclipse. Anyway, we all know because of the internet and ethernet and satellites and all that, that light is energy, which is information, hence Stephen Hawking's obsession with the loss of information through black holes, but I digress. The lunar nodes tell us where all the light is going, what the golden thread of light is weaving us all into. And with the lunar nodes entering Aries and Libra, the emphasis of embodied life is undoubtedly self versus other. Now, the north node, that's where things are moving towards. The south node, what life is moving away from. So the north node is the hungry head of the Ouroboros' snake. The south node is the tail from which the snake's skin sheds. You get it. One pull towards, one push away from. Anyhow, the north node is pulling us now, and it's pulling us toward the first sign in the zodiac, cardinal fire Aries, ruled by Mars and represented by the ram. So basically, it is time to remember who we are. It is time to remember the joy of being. It is time to remember what we are here to do, how to love doing it. It is time to love being again, to act out who you want to be and what you wish to see in the world. It is time for authenticity, for speed, for confidence, for boldness, for directness. It is time to assert yourself in the world again. Because the south node, the karmic drain, is in Libra, the seventh sign in the zodiac, our cardinal air sign ruled by Venus and represented by the scales. It is time to let go of relationships that are draining you. It is time to redefine balance. It is time to let go of uneasy peace. It's time to stop faking it. It's time to quit people-pleasing. It's time to lay down new boundaries. It's time to stop sweet-talking, flattering, or generally comparing. Comparison is the thief of joy, and flattery is fakery, and the time for that is not now. The last time the nodes were in this exact arrangement with the north node in Aries, the south node in Libra, was about 18 years ago, from December of 2004 to June of 2006. To try to put this nodal shift in context, after all, nodal cycles take almost 2 decades to complete, think back to what you were doing, where life and fate were taking you around those dates. Of course, this flavor of that nodal transit will be a progression from the previous. Think about a more mature variant of any operative archetypes or themes. For millennials, we were barely coming of age at that time. What are our thoughts about it in reflection? If you could live high school over again, what would you do differently, or given Aries' meanings? If you could do that over again, adolescents, how would you self-abandon less? No matter where this transit finds you, pay attention to the Libra and Aries parts of your chart. Get ready for another emphasis on whatever Aries is. Big time. Whatever it is, it's sure to be progress, like I said, and as all cardinal signs are. So let's progress to the final portion of our show, the upcoming quality of time, over the next 2 weeks following this full moon in Capricorn. So it's going to feel groundbreaking, effortful, rigorous, healing, and forward-looking. which brings us into our do's and don'ts for this full moon in Capricorn syzygy. Do take yourself, your goals, and your responsibilities seriously. Showing up feels good. Don't martyr yourself in the name of duty. Burnout inhibits progress, the opposite of acceleration. Do have a plan to de-stress and make intentional outlets for anxiety or nerves. That is self-care. Don't get hung up on what your healing or hobbies will look like or what others think of them. It's a tool if it works for you. Do take pride in your accomplishments and time to acknowledge your personal wins. You're worth noticing. Don't brag or boast too much about what you're doing. Trust your efforts will be recognized and that they matter. Last, let me remind you all that I do offer natal chart readings to private clients. Head to my website, textastrology.com, to book yours or get a gift certificate from a friend. Code I love you gets you $100 off your session. I do thank you all truly for listening to this podcast, and please and thank you for liking, following, subscribing to, reviewing, and sharing this podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Please keep at it and enjoy your full moon. That's it for this episode, folks. Meet me here every full and new moon for more cosmic wisdom. For now, you can find me on Instagram at Rachel Ruth Tate and at Textastrology, or between the pages of my book, Meditations on Being, available on Amazon and wherever else you purchase books.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.
Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today.
In a world where dreams meet reality, there exists a place where your business can flourish. That place is Shopify. Imagine having the power to craft your online store with tools that make it as easy as a gentle breeze. Whether you're an artisan of handmade wonders, a creator of digital treasures, or a curator of the latest trends, Shopify stands by your side. With its customizable templates, seamless integrations, and support that's always there, your dream store is just a heartbeat away. Join millions of visionaries around the globe and let Shopify guide you on your journey. Visit roguemedianetwork.com/Shopify. That's roguemedianetwork.com/SHOPIFY. And embark on your free trial. Shopify, where your commerce dreams come to life.